up, divine beings? Peace, love, abundance, blessings. I'm doing a black sheep talk, and I'm talking about religious trauma and letting go of religious trauma and even religious anger toward the church, anger toward religion. And I'm not going to sit here and say I'm kumbaya with any of them because I think these systems are all used to manipulate people and humanity and to block us from our own ancestral magic and wisdom. So I'm not going to sit here and be like, yeah, I'm pro church, but more so, I have learned in my path that I have to let some of this anger go. And also, when I look at the Catholic Church, I have to understand that all of that is a cult. Those statues, those saints, they're all spirit guides. And when you're petitioning those saints, it's not different from petitioning an angel or petitioning a demon or petitioning an Orisha. Of course, those are all different types of beings, and they all come with their own energies. They all come with their own paths, their own lessons, their own wisdom, their own medicine. So I'm not generalizing here, but what I'm saying is that foundationally, they're doing the same thing. They're petitioning a guide for a service, for a job. And what the Catholic Church teaches us is that pretty much like all these different saints are messengers of God or workers for God. But we can look at angels and demons and all these other different celestial beings as agents of the universe, agents of source. It's really not that different. So when I let go of some of my own anger toward the church, I started to realize how the church is also a cult, how the church is also metaphysical, and how there are certain practices that incorporate Catholicism and Christianity into their magic. There is synchronization where certain, indigenous and Afrocentric paths of spirituality had to hide their stuff within different saints and spirit guides. When you look at Santeria, the Orisha, the Yoruba beings, the Yoruba pantheon had to hide through saints. When you look at the 21 divisions, the Loa, the mysteries, had to be hidden through saints as well. So it's interesting how there's that, but then there's also the fact that these saints themselves, like the original saints, they're all a cult. And when you start channeling some of these saints, because I've channeled certain saints for certain people, such as Saint Clare, Saint Expedite, the two twins whose names I forget. But here's the thing, like they were all doing their own sort of spiritual work. They were all doing their own sort of spells and incantations in their own lives. And yes, maybe this was done through the love of God, but it's not to say that manifestation, sorcery, and prayer aren't kind of all in one, and what really are the differences in them. So what I'm trying to get at, y'all, is that the church is a set of rituals all the freaking way, and some of the biggest practitioners are in the church, first and foremost. Secondly, some people need religion. Some people need religion as a way of coping with trauma. And that's just true, y'all. There are people who are asleep. There are people who are scared. And there are people like you and me, and maybe you have a family member, just like I know on the down low, I got some family members who go to the church to be able to center themselves spiritually because maybe they're able to perceive things beyond the veil. Maybe they're able to perceive a lot of energy. Maybe they have psychic visitations. Maybe they're psychic pumps, meaning that the dead make visitations to them. Their past loved ones make themselves present to them. And maybe they're afraid. And maybe they don't have anybody to talk to. Maybe they don't have an elder to talk to. And maybe all they can do is go to the church to be able to find some type of peace and solace because at least in the church, when you're walking in those grounds, y'all, those are portals. And maybe they find peace there. I'm not saying that that's the best thing to do, but maybe that's the best thing that one person could do. I'm also not saying that everybody is gonna unlock all of their spiritual gifts or go fully far in their path. It's more of, we're all energies in motion, and maybe we're not all gonna accomplish everything that we're supposed to accomplish. And I'm not saying that their spirituality is something they're supposed to accomplish, but I'm just saying like maybe they have a spiritual path that they're called to go toward. Maybe they have ancestral magic within them that they're called to activate, but maybe they're not gonna do it. And we have to let that go, and we have to let them be. And that's why we as the black sheep, we as the whatever we want to call ourselves, right? I was going to say the word metaphysicist in the bloodline. Now we're the ones doing the work. And maybe they just weren't ready, and now we're ready. The other thing, too, is that some of the prayers in the Bible are very powerful, and Hoodoo Work uses Bible verses to do some powerful incantations, whether that's for protection, for spiritual justice to be made when justice isn't given in the physical world, for blessings, for love, that's all done in hoodoo. And it incorporates earth elements with prayers. So here's the thing, y'all, like, whether we like it or not, religion happened, colonialization happened, and my guides have been telling me, like, yo, you gotta let some of this anger go, because at the end of the day, like, some of these people who are in the church who will give it all to God are low-key, like, tapped in to source. I don't want to use a certain word because I know that there's so many words for somebody who, let's say, is a seer or is a psychic or is a medium or is an oracle or is a channel or is a vessel. I don't want to use a certain word, but you know what I mean when I say those things? Like, it's somebody who feels beyond the veil, it's somebody who sees beyond the veil. And there are a lot of people in the church who go there because they feel like it's God giving them these signs. And, God is also subject to personal interpretation. That's another thing. So, the thing that I'm trying to get at, though, is that you will find a lot of people who are tapped into metaphysics or tapped into the other realms, who are able to see beyond the veil in the church as a way of them being able to ground themselves and cope with this. Because some people, like me, I didn't choose to see spirits. I didn't really ask for it. It just sort of happened and I just like accepted it. And that's when certain downloads came in where I realized more about my past lives, and I went into my Akashic records and realized, like, I've been a seer for all of my lives, and I've been an occultist for all of my lives. I've been a magician for all of my lives, a sorcerer, and this life is not going to be that different from any of them. And I didn't really choose this, like, people don't really there's those that want this for power, for shortcuts in life, and there's those of us who don't choose this. And we understand it's a lot of work. Like, we're doing a lot of healing work, we're doing a lot of purging work, we're doing a lot of self-love work, we're doing a lot of banishing work when it comes to living a life that is not true and genuine. And some of this is ancestral, because whatever our parents or grandparents didn't fulfill and accomplish, now it's our turn to accomplish that inner work or that journey or that cycle or that karma. So what I'm trying to get at is that, yes, like, the institution of religion, it was made to pretty much like destroy our ancestral spiritualities, but did it really? No. The spirits are still here. The magic is still within you, and the same way in which trauma is passed down in a DNA, so are your spiritual gifts. You're still active, you're still alive, you're still able to see beyond the veil, and yes, a lot of people are asleep. But there was also a time, y'all, before colonization happened, where a lot of people misused sorcery, and it was communities hurting their own communities, tribes hurting their own tribes. It was a lot of inner battles. There were people who were fighting over whose god or whose spirit was stronger. So there was always division. And religion just made it one big enemy, or maybe like a few big enemies. But the point that I'm trying to get at is, it's already here, it's already happened, and all we can do now is move forward and reestablish our own connection back into ancestral spirituality, back into indigenous spirituality, back into our power. And for whatever reason, you were meant to do that, and you're doing it. So at the end of the day, yeah, like, there was a lot of messed up things that happened due to colonization, which I can't even like begin to speak on and fully get to. But here you are, a new seed, creating new wisdom, but also unlocking ancestral wisdom, and you're passing the magic forward, so the magic never dies. And resistance and revolution is a multi-generational effort, and you're doing it. I just want us to move beyond, like, oh my gosh, like, the Abrahamic belief system sucks. And don't get me wrong, y'all. I got people on my TikTok, on my Instagram, on my YouTube telling me I'm gonna go to hell, this and the third. Like, yo, I work with Lucifer, I work with demons, I also work with angels. And here's the thing, they don't trip. Because angels and demons understand that they're just working in two different parts of the universe. You need hell and you need heaven, and then we're in the middle, and you need both. And that's really it. God and Satan are both necessary. Without Satan, you don't have God, and without God, you don't have Satan. Without fear, you don't have hope, and without hope, you don't have fear. So everything is serving a role, and I think that the issue has become that the devil is been subscribed to everything. Like you'll have people who say that the Loa are devils, or are all the devil or demons, or that the Orisha are demons, and that's far from it. And that is a tool of control. So I'm not gonna again say that like I'm team the church, but what I'm trying to get at is that there's two things that happen. Sometimes there's a incorporation of the church that was forced upon us, yes, due to colonization. But hey, our ancestors sometimes work with this stuff. Like I got some Catholic ancestors, and some of the magic is cool. Am I gonna say that that's my style? Absolutely not. Like yo, no, absolutely not. But at the end of the day, yo, that's still part of my bloodline. That's still part of my path, and that is wisdom that I can access and tap into. It's just that simple. I still go visit the Catholic Church. I did a video on holy water. I go there. I talk to some of the saints. I talk to Mary. I talk to the angels there. Like it is what it is. Like am I cool with how the Catholic Church came about and how it went through all of Latin America and committed genocide on my ancestors? Hell no. But at the same time, like it's there, it's existing, and these spirits are real. And it is what it is. Like it's there. Like I can't change the past. All I can do is just see everything for what it is. And I'm not saying that you gotta do what I'm doing. I'm not saying you gotta be kumbaya with everything. But all I'm trying to say is like, don't let it get too much of a hold over you in the sense that you still see the church as some type of mega oppressor, when in reality, the church is already crumbling and collapsing, and so is people's faith in it. And, ancestral spirituality is coming back. The ancient gods are coming back. The Nephilim are back. And the Nephilim were actually seen as like something bad. The Nephilim were seen as pretty much the children of demons, or quote unquote fallen angels, and humans who made it and they created the Nephilim. They're not bad. They're you and me. We're demigods. What do you think we are? We're gods on this planet. Some of us have spiritual bloodlines, very powerful royal bloodlines that do come back to ancient gods. And here's the thing, y'all. The reason why I like to do videos on different types of spirit guides, I've done videos on demons, on Egyptians, on Greek gods, all of that is because when you really, really tap in, you realize everything is real. All of it is real. And they're all just different faces of source. But it's all true. It's all real, y'all. All of it is real. It's not a competition of what's real, what's not real. Your God is not real. My God is. It's all freaking real. That's the scary part, but that's also the cool part. And people don't want to admit that. People don't want to accept that. I like to sometimes shuffle, so if you're hearing me shuffle, I apologize. But maybe I should take out some cards. Regarding this, is there any messages coming forward? I hope this video was a service. If anything else, at least it created a conversation that maybe we should have. We have the 7 of Wands. I see this as like you, whoever's watching this, the viewer, like you've had to go through a lot of like family members with a lot of like religious belief systems. We have the King of Pentacles and we have the 3 of Cups. All right. So what I'm getting here with the King of Pentacles is like honestly like abundance and wealth as the Pentacles represent. King is also authority. With the King of Pentacles, I see this as like you're breaking out of some of the hysteria that was brought up with religion in your bloodline. And through that, you're creating new possibilities of love, of spirituality, of abundance for your bloodline. You're doing the work. Colonialism did not stop you from existing and being a revolutionary act in your bloodline. The magic is not gone. The magic right now is being reclaimed and repurposed. So perhaps this video isn't really about like, okay, we're going to forgive all this, but more so, yo, this doesn't affect me anymore. It is what it is. The corruption was done, but here you are, a divine seed, planting in new generational timelines, new timelines for your bloodline, new timelines for your ancestral narrative and for yourself. And let these people hate. Let these people be fearful. I have a lot of people that are scared because I work with something. I work with demons, and they just don't have the understanding. And honestly, I didn't have the understanding either. It took me a long time to walk into this path, to have my ears open, my eyes open, my heart open to what I'm feeling, what I'm perceiving, to the beings that came toward me, to really develop some type of understanding with them. So if it took me a while to wake up, these people, it's going to take them lifetimes, not just even one. If they're refusing or if they're too scared, and you know what? Some people choose to be asleep. Some people are going to be asleep this whole life. We got to let them go too. And not let them go, like cut them off, but let go of the need to want to control them. With the Two of Pentacles, it's like you're trying to force something that is not going to happen. So for those of you who have family members who are asleep, I'm not going to lie to you. Maybe your job is just to be an example of change, of a new possibility in your timeline, in their timeline, in your bloodline. And that's it. Maybe they're not going to be fully awakened. Maybe they're not going to be fully open. Maybe they're not going to fully embrace. For some of you, I feel like you have family members who have spiritual gifts, but again, go to the church. They're not going to embrace it. Oh, well, let them be. You know, it's free will. All right, one last card. We have the Queen of Pentacles. That's funny. We just have the King of Pentacles. I get like the energy of Goddess here. And for some reason, what is the Goddess wanting to say? I get the Goddess. Because you know that's the other issue. The church destroyed the divine feminine. But she's here. And a lot of these texts, the Eight of Swords, changed the word Goddess to God. She's here. And I just see her creating new possibilities for us. I see it as the world is burnt out because of religion's influence. And I see that as that burnout is kind of necessary for us to now move into a new path. The Ace of Wands. And we have the cow here. And the cow is representative of Hathor, who is a goddess and is an embodiment of Venus. It's an embodiment of love. I really see this as like, we're moving forward, and we're moving forward with self-love. We're moving forward in embracing the divine feminine. It doesn't matter, you know, what your gender or sex is. It's about understanding the divine feminine needs to be honored in order for balance to be in this world. And we're doing the work, y'all. I'm seeing this also as an invitation to work with the divine feminine. Like, she's with you. And I see this as a reminder that what you're doing, you're not gonna maybe see all of it right now, but you're doing work to help the next generations coming forward, because they are all like kind of pretty much star seeds, or pretty much like, okay, if y'all don't know what star seeds are, and I don't want to make this video too long, they're multidimensional beings, people who have come from different star systems, now reincarnating on Earth to awaken this planet and to shift the vibration here. That's what's happening. And those of us spiritualists, those of us black sheep in the bloodline, we're creating a safe space and a doorway for them to be able to come, and we're going to be guiding them as well. All right. So if y'all like this video and y'all want more videos like this, please let me know in the comments below. Thank y'all for tuning in. My name is Astro Poppy. If you want to support the channel, you can leave a tip or a donation. And if you want to book a private reading with me, how to do so is on the about below. Stay beautiful, stay abundant, stay great, y'all.